When we become aware that we are indeed awareness, when we become aware that we're seeing through the eyes of God, through the eyes of Source, when we can embody that, when it goes beyond knowing and it becomes wisdom for us, many things start to change for us. What I've seen personally is that my confidence goes up tenfold. Whereas before I knew without a shadow of a doubt that I was one with Source, one with God, before I knew that, I would be to myself and I would be scared to not be who I really am, right? I'd be afraid to start up a conversation with someone. I'd be afraid to help someone out. I'd be afraid to just put myself out there because I was living in the mind and I figured I was separate from everybody else. And so, of course, I thought people would judge me. I thought I was going to get ridiculed for something. I just wasn't secure within myself. But once you become aware that you are indeed awareness and you become aware that we're just consciousness and the body is the body and it's not who we really are and it's not who this person really is and that we're all one, we're all interconnected, we're all unity consciousness. When you really discover that for yourself, beyond thinking about it, beyond conceptualizing about it, but come to a realization of knowing it as wisdom, as truth. When that happens, your confidence has no choice but to come up. It has to come up because you're seeing through the eyes of creation. And what is there to feel lack about if you are indeed creation or a part of creation itself? Wouldn't that be the most confident thing in existence? Because it creates everything. It created everything. It created me. It created you. It created the trees. It created the grass. It created Gaia. It created every single thing you know of on this planet and beyond. The cosmos. It created all of that. And so if something's that powerful, then I feel like when you're working from that aspect of being it, when you know that you're a part of it and you see yourself as a part of it and you see everyone as your brother, everyone as your sister, everyone as you, then your confidence has no choice but to raise. Because you're working from a place of love now. You're working from the heart space. You're not working in the mind anymore. Again, the thoughts still come, and we don't push away our emotions. We don't push our feelings away. We obviously look at them, but we look at them knowing that we are not our emotions. We're not our thoughts. We're the observer. And so when we can observe as the observer, we just observe the emotions and thoughts as passing clouds, right? We can pick and choose what we want to accept as truth. We can pick and choose what our beliefs are. We can take a good hard look at what our beliefs have been and ask ourselves, truly, are they serving us or are they not? If they're serving us, we can keep them. If they're not serving us, don't put your attention on them. It's as simple as that. We just let them pass. We acknowledge them, we see them, but we see them as the observer. We don't see them as the separated self. Because we're not just that. Our thoughts are not ours. Our emotions, as though we feel them, they're not ours either. So again, we can look at the emotions and all and acknowledge them that they're there, but from a place of knowing why they're there and why they're making you feel that, and becoming not attached to them, becoming not attached to the emotion. Just letting it play out for what it is and know that it's gonna pass. It's a feeling that it's gonna pass. And because we have the ability to now choose that, we feel the emotion, but we don't have to stick in that emotion. We don't have to wallow in the emotion, into the negative emotion. Because once you become aware that you're awareness and become aware that you are indeed source creation, when you see from the eyes of that, you can no longer wallow in any of these negative emotions because that is self-inflicted at that point. Whereas beforehand, we just didn't know, right? Forgive them for they not know what they do. We didn't know what we were doing. But when you know without a shadow of a doubt that we are indeed God, we are that I am, always have been, always will be. We never die. We always just exist. Then you know, if you let the overcoming emotions of negativity let you down and keep you down, it's on you at that point. We don't blame people no more. Blaming is for heavier, denser realms. In the new earth, everything is high vibration, everything is accountability, everything is love. So wallowing in your self-pity is not love. It's the opposite. It's fear. It's illusion. So it just becomes clear when you're seeing through the eyes of Source, like more than you're not. It becomes hard to forget that. It becomes hard to forget that. I remember the longest time I was always searching for that, to know that I am God. Like I can hear people tell me that I am God, we are just extensions of God, and I can know it as truth because my body and cells in my brain know that as truth. It awakens something in you that clicks, and it's like, okay, what I just heard just now was something that I already known but forgot about, and so now I have a remembrance of it, right? That's the start. But it goes beyond that, because just knowing it and remembering that is truth, but if you don't put it into practice every day to know indeed that you are Source and to work from that area of life, work from that aspect of your higher self, work from the heart space, if you don't put that into practice, then it's just a notion. It's just an understanding that you will eventually forget, because you will fall back into habitual patterns that you've been programmed to play out since you've been on this planet, since you've picked up these negative habits or picked up these negative beliefs. We've been running them for so long, it takes actual time to go the other way. It only takes time because there's an illusion that that's who we were, right? When we come into this plane, when we come into the planet as a newborn baby, we're just conscious awareness. We are looking from that I am awareness. But we lose it because we're downloading so much of everything around us. People are showing us things that are not good for us, but we have no choice but to pick it up, because we're just downloading every single bit of information, good or bad, right? And so the parents around us, the uncles, the sisters, the grandparents, the society around us, all those negative limiting beliefs get downloaded into your subconscious when you're that young, because you just I am awareness. But then again, we're watching every single thing happening to us, and so we gain, and we don't gain. We actually, it's not a gain, but we accumulate all of this negative baggage. And we become so addicted to the self. We become so identified with the self. And this is who I am because my mom told me this is how we are. This is how I see my grandparents work. I'm just, it's all hereditary. All that BS that we've been told, right? Until all that stuff falls off and you remember that you are, that I am creation, right? When you realize and you know again and you remember, the remembering is just one part. We have to put it into practice. And that might take a little while because there's going to be some pushback of the person you thought you were. But the more we see from the eyes of God, the more we actually experience from the eyes of God, the more we experience from that heart space, that precious heart space where there's only love and everything around us is love. And we see people with love. Even the people that do bad to us, we don't hate them no more. We don't think bad thoughts about them anymore. We know what's going on with them. We know that what they're doing is coping with what they've got. When we understand all that, we know we're one again. But we have to see from the eyes of Source again. We can't just conceptualize it, because if we conceptualize it, we're going to forget. And you can't change things without embodying that truth that we are, that I am awareness. We have to embody it. We have to embody it every single day, every minute of every day if possible. What helps with that is meditation. What helps with me is meditation. Like at least once a day. Meditation has been a godsend for me, literally, because it quieted my mind enough to know that I can. At first, it just quieted my mind enough so I could see my mind and see my thoughts and where my thoughts are headed. Right. From there, I can see that I'm going on a negative thought wave. From that, since my mind is quieted, they don't rule my brain anymore. They don't rule my headspace. They're there, and I can see them. And little by little, the more we slow down our thinking, the more we slow down the mind chatter, we can point out what we want, we can keep what we want, we can leave whatever we don't want. It'll go away if we don't put any attention on it. You can't put any attention on it, though. You have to be disciplined enough to want to feel better in your life. You just have to know that you are God. You have to know it. And that only comes with time. That comes with being consciously aware of what emotions you're choosing, what you're not choosing to dwell in, what thoughts you're having, and which ones to keep, which ones to disregard. We have to be really good at becoming conscious of all those things instead of working from autopilot and working from pre-programmed subconscious beliefs into things that give us a chance to succeed in this life, or at least give us a chance to work from the place of love, because we hadn't before. And when you become so strong in the belief that you are working from the eyes of God, it's not a belief, right? It starts off as a belief, but it becomes known as a wisdom and a truth. Every cell of your body falls in line to that I am awareness. It is like, it doesn't need any proof. We already know this to be truth because we see it. We've experienced as this truth already. You can't tell this to people. They have to experience on their own. You couldn't tell it to me. I can only conceptualize it. I know it then. Yes, we can know it, but we can't really know it as truth and like with conviction as I have, until we see from the eyes of God, until we actually see it, until we are aware that we are awareness. We have to be aware that we're aware. That's the biggest thing. But when you start working from that heart space, again, your confidence, like I said earlier, goes up, which only helps everything else, right? You're not distant. You're not the quiet person anymore. If maybe that's who you were. I know that's who I was. I identified it as this quiet person, doesn't talk much. You become more outgoing because you become more of who you really are. None of those limiting stories from your past are there anymore. They can't affect you anymore because you know you're experiencing as the I am awareness. You're experiencing through the eyes of God. You feel that as truth. You know that to be wisdom. You know that to be the only thing that's ever been true. Everything else is false. That is the biggest truth. And when you learn that and you understand that and you live from that, this vessel, the body vessel, starts working in tandem with that idea. The body's following suit now because you are the conscious creator of your thoughts and what you want to see in your reality. And when you become that, you're more happier. You're more working from that love space. Instead of divided, we are now one. We begin to help people out because we want to, because we feel called to. We're just more upbeat. Doesn't mean things won't happen to us in our everyday life. It's always going to happen to us. Bad things, good things, they all come and go. But that's the thing we notice now. They come and they go. We don't have to be so tied down by the negative things. We don't have to be so high on the good things. We come to this sweet spot of neutrality. I say it's a sweet spot because when you're working from the neutrality, you can feel the highs, you can feel the lows, but you don't let them take you with them. I just screwed that whole sentence up. You don't let those highs and you don't let the lows take you with them, right? You don't go with them. You don't get too high, you don't get too low. You stay that middle road where you can observe everything, because you know everything's impermanent. The goods are impermanent. The highs are impermanent. The lows and the bad are impermanent. It's all going. It's all coming. It's all going. Not saying we can't be joyous and have fun in the good times. Yes, we can, but just don't get too high, because when you get too high, you're susceptible now to when it gets too low, to be like, oh no, you're grasping at the stuff that you remembered from the too high moment. You're grasping now. That causes suffering. When you're in the neutral ground, you accept that it's all part of the plan. It's all part of it. It's a part of life, the good and the bad. And they're not going to throw you off your high horse anymore, because you're working from the place of consciousness. You're working from the place of that I am. Some people will be taken back by you once you become living in that I am state, because You're just yourself now. You're your true self. A lot of things that have been stopping you from being that, it's gone now. You're just working from the eyes of source. You're working for the benefit of the planet. You're working for the benefit of consciousness of everyone on this planet. We're all together. There's no divide. I don't care who you voted for. I don't care what your favorite team is. I don't care what skin color you are. None of that matters, because all together we are one. And so when you genuinely, it's not fake, it's coming from a genuine place. When you're genuinely working from that love space and you're spreading that to people, some people don't know how to take that in, because they're not seeing from that source eye view like you are. They're still pretending to be separated. They're playing that old heavy game. We're not playing that anymore here. We're working high vibration. We're accepting everything. We know what the truth is, and the truth is love. And so when they feel that so powerfully and strong from you, they might be a little standoffish. But remember, please remember, this is not about you. You're doing nothing wrong. You're being yourself. The people that pushes themselves away, we accept that. We feel compassion for them still, no matter if they feel distant to us, whether they feel like our energy is too strong. Well, let us be too strong for them, because we're not going to dumb our energy down for anybody anymore, because we know we're all there is. All of us. We are that operant power. We are the light that shines on everything. We are that. And the more we embody that, the more we can transform other people's lives. We transform our own life first, and then it's just a trickle down effect. Everyone we come in contact with from now on, there's no motives. There's no stories of the past. We're just working from that I am awareness. We're working from love. With confidence. With the utmost confidence. Because we know that we are God. We are source. We are creation. We are conscious creation here. We're all here for love. And so don't dumb your energy down for anyone. Don't dumb that love down. Don't dumb that light down. That's how we did in the past. We've moved past that. We realize that those parts of us, that loving light that was always been a part of us, that's the best part of us. That's who we really are. People who can't accept it, they can't accept it. That's okay. But just know that's truth, and that's who you really are. The people that we're supposed to attract are going to come into our lives, and we have to surrender to that fact. Surrender to that, and have faith in that. That not everyone's going to vibe with us anymore, but that's okay. We vibe with ourselves. We're okay within ourselves. And the law of attraction, we will be attracted to people of like mind, of like energy, right? So don't worry about any of that. Just shine on, people. Just shine on. Just love. Just love. That's it. That's all we're asked to do. And when you're working from this awareness, that's all you can do. You can't go back. You can't unsee things. Which I'm so grateful for. Because how bad would it be if we found all this out and we just would fall back into past things? There comes a time where it's the point of no return, where you cannot unsee the things that you've seen now. You can't unexperience the things that you've experienced now. And we're better that way. That's the way it's supposed to be. So that's all for today, guys. I hope you had a wonderful day, wonderful weekend. With love, with light, as always. Have a great day. Thank you for watching. I will see you next time. Peace, guys.